And so it begins.
I just wanted to make this to make sure, or anyone who watches know we're still around.
They'll know. I'm Dave. This is Benjamin.
Yeah. And as you can see from my shirt, it's St. Patrick's Day. I pinched down the way here, so there's no reason to pinch him again.
I didn't put on a green shirt today. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, this doubles as a Christmas shirt.
It's true. Looks good. Okay.
Yeah. So let's try to do some world building in this.
Okay.
Like, which one would you like to talk about?
Wash Away Troubles has been the one that you've talked about, I think,
The most.
the most. But the last couple of videos you focused on the Fairblix thing and the Immortal One thing.
Well, to be fair, there was Wind Dragon, but yeah, the Immortal One is a prominent character in Wind Dragon, from what I imagine.
Yes. So you've really gone over that one. What one have you not gone over?
Oh. Night?
Yes. You didn't build the world around that character. You gave a lot of references and a lot of things about the character and his backstory,
Yeah.
but you have not explained the world that he's living in.
Yeah,
And I
because
think Knight is your coolest character.
Yeah, because Knight is a 60-plus-year-old man, and who now, thanks to the craziest stuff of after defeating a great evil, well, the world's essentially become better immediately.
Good.
Like, it's a world that doesn't really need him. Doesn't need the knight that gave up everything to destroy an ancient evil. Despite the fact with all the people dead, there was no real reason to.
Okay.
Oh. The only thing he did know was that he could still sense that it said evil. So one day he would slip out of his hospital room.
Why was he in the hospital?
He was a random kid who, when they first found him, was in the state. It's similar to Wolverine in Origins when he had to go to the hospital.
Oh, he was sick.
No, he got the crap beaten out of him by Sabretooth. Which is why he was in an emergency room. He had knife and stab wounds from the looks of
Well,
it.
who did that to him?
Sabretooth. Remember X-Men Origins?
No. I'm talking about Knight.
Oh,
Who put him in the hospital? What happened to cause him to go into the hospital?
simple. Well, they found some teenager beaten up real bad. Which was from his battle. With it said ancient evil. Well, which he doesn't know the name of. But no one told him the name, as people were too scared to say the name. And in fear, said creepy would appear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Think like Voldemort.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking more like, when you speak of the devil, supposedly he can appear, or he would appear. Some things say that's where they got speak of the devil from.
Yeah.
The idea that he might actually appear if you said his name.
To be fair, he has two names.
Yes.
But that's besides
Actually,
the
he
point.
has more names than that.
Well, those are the two main names we have of him.
Yes.
That being Lucifer and Satan.
Yes. And he's been called Mephistopheles, several other ones.
They all basically mean the same thing.
Yes.
The enemy.
Yes.
Except for Lucifer. That means light bringer.
Because he was an angel of light.
Yeah, a son of the morning.
Yes. He was a very high angel. And he rebelled. But that's not what we're talking about. Get back to...
Now, let's get back to Night, please.
Now...
Because first he needs to find his stuff. Because he was in a hospital robe.
But you're not describing the world that he lives in.
Yeah, because that's the point.
Mhm.
He doesn't know. That's what I'm going for.
What do you mean he doesn't
Because when he
know?
gets out, everything's around recognizable. There's big buildings, bright lights, people going around.
Mm-hmm. How long was he in the hospital for?
He wasn't in for that long. I was only in there for like a week.
But
They
he
just thought some kid with an amnesia problem.
Wait a minute. He's 60 years old, you said.
Yeah,
So he can't be a kid.
but that's the problem. He doesn't know what happened to him. Well, suddenly he's an old man who fought an ancient evil. Well, and poof,
Now he's a young kid.
he's a 14-year-old.
14. Percy Jackson, here we go. Go on.
Yeah. He sort of reflect. He was freaking out. Oh, it's
Does he remember anything about himself?
yeah.
But he can't remember how he ended up in the hospital and who did whatever put him in the hospital.
Yeah, because when he woke up, it was like what the doctors did with Wolverine. That was fine. Hardly any injuries.
Yeah. Well, except for that dent in his head.
There was no dent. Like, did Wolverine have a dent in his head?
Yeah, when, I can't remember, the colonel that was in charge of that program shot him at nearly...
That was at the
point-blank
end
range. Yes.
in the movie.
Yes, and that put Wolverine in the hospital for a little while. And also caused him to have amnesia.
Yeah, that was basically the point of why they shot him in the head with those adamantium bullets.
Which made no sense.
Well, adamantium and hard adamantium.
But he had adamantium all through his body. Why would you think that adamantium would dent or go through adamantium?
That was kind of the point.
Okay.
When
But
his
that's
adamantium
again
harmed
off
each
the
other.
subject. What is the world like that he's walked into?
It's
Where
kind
is
of
he
a paradise.
A paradise.
Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. But he man just wants to find his gear.
Okay. I can understand that.
He eventually finds someone holding the gizmo that has all his gear in it.
How does he locate that?
Simple. It's a psychic sense he has. He knows where stuff is.
That makes sense.
He finds it at some teenagers hanging out at some pizza beer place.
So how is the political climate and the nations in this? Are they like modern day?
A fusion of
World.
modern day monarchy.
A future monarchy?
Monarchy, yes.
Where?
Well, to be fair, they're mainly being led by a princess. She cannot gain title of queen until she finds a husband,
Ah,
which is why
ah.
she doesn't have the title of queen, despite her being the only heir to the throne.
So she has to remain a princess until she finds a hubby.
Yeah, which is essentially the point.
But what areas does she control as compared to others?
She basically controls the world in a sense,
Oh, really?
and she mainly protects people,
Okay,
like a hero.
so what's the government like? Is it
The government
free?
essentially works like ours, except they still have to follow under the royals get the final say in things.
Okay,
Like a
so
president.
so it's a weird constitution that gives us all the same rights and everything, but when they're trying to pass laws or something, she gets the final say.
Yeah,
Okay. No, okay.
yeah, because essentially how to describe what he does in that.
So is the
That
whole
place.
world like that, or are there a little
Yeah.
bit different areas with different?
There are a couple different areas.
Right, because I would imagine there'd be subgroups. Because
Subgroups are more of the higher class areas.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like North America would have to be under one person, South America under one person, Africa under one person, Eurasia under one person, Australia.
Yeah, a lot of those function as giant cities and such.
They what?
Cities,
I didn't
They're
understand.
city-states with elected leaders.
How big are the city-states?
Think up to covering most of the land masses.
Why would it do that? Because you need food, and you have to have land mass in order to
There
plant farms.
are farms and such built into the city instead.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how it works.
That's interesting.
It says there is one side, the technological advanced place. That's where the government and Earth would be,
Mm-hmm.
along with most of the tech people.
Mm.
The other places where the farmers, there's builders, and the laborers would go.
That's interesting. They've developed a class system.
Not exactly a class system, still, and you can be very wealthy as a farmer, and very wealthy as a politician at the same time. And you could run your business and still do other stuff. It all works down to business, to how you design your business.
Mm-hmm.
Business essentially. Because some people will just work from home,
That's true.
and they're doing it. Like one time, and when he goes out of his hospital room,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't realize until later that when he got out that there were no security guards passed by.
Oh, okay.
Knight wonders what was all that. And then when he gets back to his hospital, and then when he gets his thing back, and he walks past the door, and some computer goes off.
Why did it go off?
Silent island alarm.
Oh,
But
so when he walks out of the hospital, a silent alarm goes off?
yeah, alerted one of the guards, and discovers he's on a computer. And he asks, "Why do you want a computer?"
Who's on the computer?
A
Knight?
security guard.
Oh, the security guard is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knight's just walking back to his hospital room
Why?
because he doesn't realize.
He forgot his clothes?
No, he has his stuff with him.
Oh. Okay.
But now, we have to go back to his hospital room and cover up the fact that he was gone.
Why?
I don't think the doctor will take kindly to a patient leaving.
Doesn't
Especially
matter.
someone-
They don't have a say. If you check
Well,
yourself
actually-
in, you can check yourself out.
Well,
Or in the case of you came in
No,
because
Dad.
of an emergency, or
And they
something,
went in. He went in because of emergency. Yes.
and he can still check himself
He
out.
didn't actually check out. He doesn't know how the system in the hospital works.
I see. Yeah, you always have to wait for that final paperwork.
Not to mention,
Takes him an hour to
they
get
need
it.
to identify him because he's some random person no one knows about.
How are they going to identify him? Because he's not who he was before.
Yeah. And they didn't exist at the time. And he specifically, they didn't exist technically.
Right. But that's going to be weird because how are they going to find out who he is when he's not who he was? And they can't, they're not
And
going
they
to
could place him under a temporary form of house arrest. But it's under the definition that he might be insane or suffering brain damage. It's essentially like caring for a guy who can't care for himself. Like
Yeah,
with
but how
mental
will he
health.
get out to,
He has psychic powers, remember?
okay.
Where by using his telekinesis, he could float out.
No. What I was saying is, because if he ended up on a psych ward, they usually don't have windows that can open. They don't have that stuff.
He kind of just used some psychic ability to teleport himself out of his room. They didn't know he had powers.
Okay,
Was
he
that-
has the ability to teleport?
To an extent, it can only go, about 12 feet.
Did you know psych
He can go
wards?
farther if he needs to, but I prefers to keep it short.
Psych wards are generally on the higher levels of a hospital.
Yeah, but they think he's unconscious because they had him sedated. Because you don't have to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy grabbed at that metal toilet bowl thing, knocked him hit in the head.
Mm.
Knocking him out long enough to inject him.
Good deal. So, why did they do that?
He was freaking out and attacking?
Oh, when he first woke up?
Yeah,
I'm not going to understand that.
I have it written down. Now remember, but I'm pretty sure I have a connection to my Google Docs on my phone.
You do. Which one?
Okay, Savage Night Notes.
Ah, you need new protector screen. You've got on here telekinesis. It says that he was discharged by the hospital and then went to look for his equipment.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Oh.
This is just the notes, the prototype
Uh-huh.
stuff.
That's fine, you can alter it however you want. But that's still good.
Yeah.
It's a good character. But maybe a little too OP.
Which is kind of the point. I'm mainly aiming for this to work like Psyche K in a sense.
Oh, that's
He's just trying to get used to the
Okay.
world he's in.
Okay.
So he's not going to be looking for big fights or anything.
Now, why is he so disassociated with the world?
The world he grew up in was the apocalypse.
But he was still part of the world. And he stayed around
Yeah.
that whole time. So how is he not familiar with how everything is?
Because that's not what he's used to. He was one of the younger people who were growing up in the middle of the apocalypse happening.
Okay.
This is what he's used to.
But that doesn't make
Fire
sense. If he-
everywhere. People suffering.
Right. But if he defeated the evil, he would have, and lived through that, which obviously he
He
did.
wouldn't.
He would have been around and would know what all this stuff is.
Yeah. It's all still work in progress. But I
I
imagine he absorbs the guy's power. Where, the ancient, the evil.
He
being.
absorbed the evil being's power.
Yeah, essentially changing it from the bad stuff to good, and basically fixing the world by destroying that one being.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And the being is nameless?
Which is kind of the point.
Right.
He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know names.
Well, I thought you said he remembered everything.
Still
Except...
work in progress.
Okay. Because...
That's because he didn't know some of the people around him. They just resembled people he knew.
Okay. I can see that because he's lived so long. But...
To be fair, he's like 65, I believe.
Yeah, but he's 2,000 years old.
Not 2000.
That's what your thing said.
Okay, I need to work on the phrasing.
Okay.
But his time was 2,000 to 100 years in the future. 2,000 years mainly. He was sent back in time because I'm 2,200.
Wait a minute. He's in 2,200. And he got
No.
sent back
Oh,
in
he's-
time.
So he sent back in time 2,200 years.
Oh, so he's sent forward.
Back.
You can't go backwards. If he's at the...
It's all a work in progress. Can we
Okay.
please just...
I'm sorry.
Let's try to fix it.
I'm sorry. That's fine.
Don't take the notes too seriously, Dad.
I-
And it's all the idea. They're a jumbled up mess.
No, that's okay. That's where you started. That's a
I'm
good start.
not sure which point in time specifically it happens.
Oh, so the apocalypse happens in the future.
Yeah.
Beyond 2200.
Yeah.
So he is sent back in time after he defeats the evil.
Yeah.
To-
He's either sent back in time or another world. I can't decide. Maybe both.
Could be. I think that going back in time is a good thing, which would make sense as to why he's not used to what is going on around him.
Yeah. It's essentially stuff that was altered because he destroyed the evil.
And so the past got altered?
To an extent, yeah.
Mm. And he got
Because
kicked
he
back.
didn't exist in that point in time.
Okay. Well, yeah, but he wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
So then he's back in time and suddenly young.
Yeah. And he can still sense the evil is somewhere around him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay.
So he can sense the evil as it's starting to grow?
Yeah, because he still has power, which is why he knows the evil's not completely gone.
Well,
He's
the
just
evil
trying
wouldn't
to
be gone because
it'd be in a
would be
larva
gone-
first state.
Right, but
He needs to find said larva and destroy it.
I have to grab this. We've got
Send the
plenty.
video now.